What's good, y'all? It's Clyde, aka Arcangels Adele. And you already know. Y'all remember we fused, they can't kill us with no sun. Okay. Anyways, now that that's over, we have Descendant, Jupiter, Chiron, Vertex, Moon, Mars, Dignified, Aries, or Eris. Same thing, really. It's just a brother, Aries. It's like if a star system had a twin star system, did it birth from itself. And then that's Cardinal Fire. So that's really trying to say that our lower self that we seek to fix is actually swelling up or expanding upon itself and condensing at the same time. And in that way, it's healing the wound to actually grow itself into a new body. And that's essentially all because of Mars and Eris being dignified together, actually. Because Eris actually complements Mars, how Jupiter complements Aries. You know, those like kind of work together and they kind of complement each other. It's like it's almost like a polar natal alignment at that point. So then we have fixed Earth with Taurus, and then we have Uranus, which is birthing in new ideas, and then we have our higher goals, which is our North Node. We have our Pallas, which is our creative wisdom and how we actually learn how to create the world that you actually get to explore at a constant rate. So Venus is dignified in this area because we are literally trying to bring in a new world through the birth of the spirit of it through Uranus to make it more physical and constantly crystallize into a big Jupiter to essentially use our love to heal the wound that we have gotten from ourselves. So Gemini, air, mutable. Mercury is in Gemini and it's dignified, and that is to say that now is a time of great polarities. We are in a time of a polar shift where things are pushing apart further and faster than ever before. This is a new time in a new place. Everywhere is a new place, and that will never change. So that's to say, do not overindulge again. You know, you don't want to be too far left, too far right, too far up, too far down. But the center is where you can always be and have success no matter what. And Mercury is dignified in this Gemini alignment because it's a time where neutrality is silence. And you know, a beneficial sound is gonna be positive, and then a negative sound is gonna be negative or bad, you know, feel bad. So when you're dignified in Mercury, aligned in the Gemini positioning of the geographical location too, it's essentially saying that our best self is in the center of ourselves, or muted, or, you know, our best self is what isn't. And we need to be able to look at ourselves and be able to say, you know, I'm not this and I'm not that, but I am this, and I've always known that. So it's time I step up. It's time I step up and allow myself to be everything I need to be by getting rid of what I'm not. So we are doing that through Cancer, water, which is cardinal. Our sun's main focus right now is shedding its shell of us and transforming us into the middle of ourselves, like Mercury does well in, until it births something, and then that something becomes the polarity that Mercury deals with as its problem to learn from itself, and that's Icky Icarus. Icky Icarus is the one who always turns sides, no matter what. That's the Judas allegory. So then we have Black Moon, Lilith, Sears, and part of our fortune, all in Cancer, to all turn Cancer into a super center, how Aries is a super center at our womb. So as you can see, our wounded part of ourselves in Aries is being healed with a shell or a scab in Cancer. And then we're eventually going to shed that scab with Sears, Lilith, our black moon, our sun, our midheaven, and our part of fortune. So everything in Cancer is going to be used to fuel our healing and also to push it into the next level and to break it so the shell can be broken. The ascendant is in Libra, and that's air, a cardinal sign. So that is to say that who we are becoming is balancing itself. Pisces, let me not go there yet. Capricorn, Earth, cardinal. The Imam Coeli and Pluto are both in Capricorn, and that's to say that the Imam Coeli is rock bottom. That's literally Earth. There's a reason why this is the most solid planet that can actually support life right now. So that is to say that Pluto is the doorway to the world of the underworld, or the world where bad feelings rule, and you actually don't have a choice whether or not to feel bad or feel good. This is the only place in the world, of all worlds, where you can actually choose to feel bad or choose to feel good, and you can actually have an effect on other people if they feel bad or feel good, if they allow you to. So Capricorn is an alignment that relates to our knees, and Earth, as you know, is physicality, or the full birth of something into life and death as a constant overlapping cycle of everything in a cyclic rotation of motion. So the Imam Coeli and Pluto are both in Capricorn to help balance each other, because in order for Pluto, the highest self, to realize that the bad that happens when things live needs to have a counterbalance to neutralize it, to allow it to not be harmful so it can stay in the center. And that's what Imam Coeli does. It teaches us to actually be the healer. We're here on Earth to realize that our rock bottom, our Imam Coeli, is to teach us when we go to Pluto what to do. So that's what we're learning here. We are on the Imam Coeli. And then we are learning to rule the entire world and to show it what we've done. We need to show it what we've done to this planet and done to this world. And we need to show it what healing really means. Because some people don't want to heal. They only want to hurt. They'll act like they want to heal, but in the end, they'll only turn on you and hurt you to really, in the end, just hurt themselves. Because they could have had both of you guys being helped in a greater sense than they even partially helped themselves in the end. So here we have fixed water with Scorpio, which is our actual dimensional alignment. This rock bottom, or Earth, Imam Coeli, is actually directly linked to the Scorpio dimension. And that's why death and sex actually rule this dimension and allow us to learn to the best of our abilities. And I'm gonna get to that actually too. So Hygeia in the South Node, or our foundation and how we keep healthy, is focused on Scorpio, or basically being fixed on focusing on the emotions, or eating, breathing, and drinking to cultivate the emotions, or to cultivate a better foundation for ourselves to shed the shell of Cancer, or the crab. So, a few things lastly in this reading before I get into explanation. We have Pisces, which is a mutable water, and Vesta, Juno, and Neptune. Neptune is dignified in this Pisces. So Vesta and Juno actually work together because Vesta is the idea of having a partner, and Juno is the idea of a relationship in general. So Neptune is the modern and traditional sense of structure as a whole, and that is actually at a super powered point right now, because we're focusing on Vesta, what we used to focus on, which was actually to have somebody with you all the time, because they didn't trust us, or we didn't trust who we were. We didn't know who we were. So Juno was to say we need to heal what we were, or heal the traditional to make it more modern, how these people who have a more new, or modern is what it says most times, but it's really just newness and oldness. Tradition is old, modern is new. So we're taking away what was old with our Vesta, what we learned to actually do and learn to become as we grew with our Juno. Our new idea, after learning what we took as traditional, to improve that and to make a new tradition that's actually modern. So really, the only way to modernize something is to change it, and the only way to have tradition is to be old. So we have to find a balance between those things. And this is how we do it. Astrology is how we do it, because we realize that our pullover of what we do with our choice and will actually goes into the world like that, and it ends up looking all like this in some way, shape, or form, and at some varying level of intensity and perception. So lastly, we have Icarus, and that's in Aquarius, and that's fixed air. And we also have Saturn, which is dignified in this Aquarius fixed air alignment. So this is what I wanted to get to, because literally this whole alignment that we're talking about right now literally ties into the birthday of Aki Icarus. And I want to say happy birthday to Aki, Mickey, Vicky, Murky Icarus. His full name, his full original birth name. And that was actually the full original birth name of the first modern hermaphrodite, when the traditional hermaphrodite had completely been extinct. So this was a new hermaphrodite of both sexes who actually was able to choose to birth itself with both genital organs, testicles, a penis, a full C-cup breast once she was a teenager, and a vagina under the testicle and the scrotum in between her legs, and eggs, everything, a womb, birthing canal. It was she could literally impregnate herself if she wanted to. So when this happened, everybody wasn't wearing clothes, so everybody could see that she was different. And when they would tell her, like, what's that? Why do you have both of these? Like, she has that, he has that, but you have both. What did you do? Did you steal that from somebody? She would say, or it would say, no, I didn't steal anything. I was just born this way. That's just how I am. So everybody would shun them and say, no, you're the thief. You're the village thief. We always see thieves coming. They're just a new type of thief. You're stealing people's what do we call it back then? Stealing people's baka. We call it the soul, the body. You stole somebody's body, but it's really just same thing, same idea as a cannibal or a serial killer. Those really psychotic people that just love to play scientists like they're crazy. So with Icarus, this is a alignment in the sky of an actual star system of a birth of Mercury. And remember, Mercury is in a dignity point right now. So Mercury is in a strong point, a very strong point. And so is Saturn, which is the last visible planet in the sky. So since Saturn is the last visible planet in the sky and is also in this Icarus alignment in the Aquarius air and fixed air scene, so that really means that Saturn, or Satan's body, is aligned with the spirit of burning itself intentionally or committing suicide wrongly. So that's what I'm getting to here. When you commit suicide wrongly, you immediately go to Pluto's world, in some way. And the reason that it's wrong to go to Pluto's world too early, if you don't acquire all the knowledge you need to actually change the world that is Pluto, which is the underworld, it doesn't look anything like this, because this world is actually turned good by us, but it starts as a neutral space. Pluto is the test to say, you know, did I learn everything I needed to learn? Do I need to go back and restart? So Pluto is to say, are you ready to heal something that refuses to be healed and will harm you until the day it actually becomes healed? That's literally the physical body of Icky Mickey Icarus. So Icky Mickey Icarus wants to always harm itself because it's only learned by harming itself intentionally. Because it remembers the first time it came, it chose to be the first modern hermaphrodite to bring that idea and non-judgmental energy back into the world so we could have compassion again and really be able to learn, because we have fallen off our path. So people that are aligned with the Icarus alignment are always in their first birth. So Mercury is always somebody who's an older spirit or somebody who's had so many lifetimes, they literally need to birth something so harmful into their life that it literally only will lie to them and make them feel comfortable to get as close as possible and to make whatever it needs to feel comfortable and it desires to happen. So that's to say, if a person who uses the power of Icarus will be a compulsive liar, be very good at it, will be extremely bipolar, but it'll be hard to tell at first until you really spend a lot of time with them. They will manipulate you. They will be good at that. They will be a very good person to make you feel like they are the victim. So one of their main ways to manipulate you is to make you feel bad, as if there's no other option but to do this, and you will be saved because you are acting out of what is necessary. So don't let Icarus, in this time of its birth, its real birthday, let you, and when it's powerful, believe it or not, most powerful, let you be tricked into thinking that you need to do things you don't need to do. The best way to be yourself is to not do a damn thing. Do nothing. Retract everything. You don't need to get people to bend to your will to get what you want. You don't need to harm people that try to put you back on the right path. You don't need to harm people that try to stop you from harming people that they may know. You don't need to stop people from helping you when you're harming people that you don't know and they're trying to tell you you're on the wrong path. So Icarus is in alignment linked to Mercury of extreme polarities and no balance, where Mercury is an alignment of extreme polarities with balance, but Icarus is extreme polarities with no balance. So this person can be extremely your best friend, but your worst enemy when they feel like they can't use you. This is the user, Icarus, you know, Icarus, Icky, he's gonna use me. Icky, she's gonna use me. Icky, it's Icarus, it's going to use me. So that is to say, do not become a user out here. Do not become somebody who wants to use people for your own will, for your own good. You need to realize that people are there to teach you why you are already complete. You don't need to try to be a undercover spy, change your sex, race, height, mass, change everything about you and make you into something so feminine that somebody wouldn't even know if they had sex with you until they actually fully had sex with you without a condom. And then they could really feel your spirit and they recognize the energy. So an Icarus is somebody who is the epitome of a troll, an epitome of a jokester, a prankster. This is like the devil's advocate, or, you know, who really cultivates evil in the world. That's really Icarus, is the evil cultivator. They grow evil like it's a plant or an animal. They constantly have to kill and trick, and every time they kill and trick it, the worse they make it feel, the better it gets for them. So Icarus is somebody who literally bursts in the antimatter dimension, and Mercury bursts Icarus out of a wanting companionship. So Icarus gets birth of the lesson of needing companionship, not just wanting it, but needing it to the point where it will do anything to feel like it's its own companion, because it feels like it has nothing inside itself to actually be of worth living for. So it feels so dead inside. Remember, everything's just in everything. So Icarus is the birther of people who feel so dead inside that they use everybody they possibly can to gain their will, or they do whatever they possibly can to trick you so you can do their will and leave them not to face the consequences. So this is the type of person that will set you up for the right amount of money to be killed or you know, tortured, or to get information. This is the type of person that will, you know, act like they're your friend and ask to take a picture of you, and then lie to you, and then, you know, get you to relax when you trust them, and act like they just want to see something on your phone, but really they're trying to download a backdoor app to hack it on the low, to actually get your card information, etc., to be able to see what you're doing, to see if they need to get some type of evidence of a crime on you, so they can dispose of you if you tend to know what they're doing behind the scenes. This is a person that feels nobody can see what they're doing behind the scenes. So if you're a type of person that can read people, you can tell this person what they're doing behind the scenes, and you can read them 100%, because you'll feel the falsehood in the surface information that they give you, because everything they give you, until they finally go that little bit deeper, you know, that you already know is there and feel, and they end up slipping up, because, you know, the truth always comes to light, and we always know that. Even in darkness, the truth will come to the light and burn itself, like Icarus always does. So when Icarus burns itself, you know what that means. Don't trust when you sense that energy. If you feel Icarus energy coming on you from that snake, Icarus is the snake that tricks you to eat the forbidden fruit. Whatever the fruit is, don't think that when I say forbidden fruit, it literally means fruit. It literally means food. It may not be food. The forbidden fruit may be the fruit of your labor of doing somebody unjustly or wrong, when your intentions are really for only yourself, when there's other spaces who have intention for you to be a positive influence on the world as well, with them, 100% with them, in a unification. But really, Icarus only feels itself is here. It doesn't feel we're even alive at this point. It feels it's the only thing alive. So it's so selfish to the point where it'll only allow itself to be alive. So it's something that needs to go in its own world and create something like it. It needs to learn to not use us as its creation, because we created ourselves. It needs to go in its own world and create its own world with its own beings, with its own design, with their own lineup, their own DNA coding, so it can learn what it does to itself, because we are actually everything. But some people can be so separate, they just perceive themselves as a different space, but really all space is the same space, just at different percentage points of ratios and proportions. We know we only have 100% of ourselves, but we are instantly growing and expanding. We are instantly going within ourselves and learning, and that's key. So now is the time to actually use your intuition, which is part of our fortune, our Pallas, our Juno, our Imam Coeli, to use our instincts to sense the Icarus, so we can shed our Saturn, which is dignified in Aquarius, and it's fixated in that area. So we're trying to shed that with our burning, with our burning sun in our midheaven right now, using changing feelings. to fuel our fortune and to be a seer. Because we can all be seers. Even if it's in the end, we're all the seers. Some people start funky and they end right. Some people start right, end funky. Some people start funky and end up getting it together. But we all start somewhere. It just matters where we go and the end game. It's the end game that counts. That's to say, if you have an awareness of what's going on in the world and the present moment, and you wait till that end game to really change things, and you know better now, that's when you receive the worst karma you could possibly receive. And the world becomes so bad for you that you feel like you need to go back to being nothing and not really exist in this world. And then that's when you come back as Icarus. That's what happens to antimatter beings. An antimatter being is an Icarus alignment. It's an Icarus-born being. It's an Icky, Vicky, Mickey, Murky, Icarus, antimatter. You already know, being. So it's a long name, but this is part of understanding when these things get birthed into this world. It's a time when we're shedding our hard shell of Saturn, our last visible shell. You know, so it's best to really allow yourself to get into a balance of what is happening and what you are choosing to participate in your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So allow your intuition to guide you and use your desire as your one true guide to follow your heart and to be everything you need to be, because everything you need to be is everything you want. So everything is your heart's desire, no matter what happens. So everything is perfect. Even though these things exist, we have to know these things to be able to handle these things properly so we don't. And then when you have the knowledge and it's applied, that's how things work out. And things are always for the better. And things don't have to, turn on you without you being ready. So we just staying ready so we ain't got to get ready, So now I'm be giving y'all the tarot reading. All right. What there, boy? She looking at the cards. Away from the ass. Away from the seers. All right. So here, one. Yeah. Three. So the first card is a right side up hermit. And let's see what that tells us. Book at least. Now, a hermit is somebody who travels like a nomad, or somebody who moves geographical locations in order to find a more suitable geographical location. Key. So the hermit upright, you are on a path of spiritual knowledge and self-discovery. Retreat from everyday life and create space for introspection. Go within and you'll discover knowledge and clarity you seek. In other words, use your intuition. Next, we have an upside down 8 of Swords. So now we're on the second half of infinity. What that says. 28. Let's see. Reverse. You are plagued by limiting self-beliefs that prevent you from moving forward. Change your belief system. Catch yourself when you're in a negative thought pattern and break that cycle. Icky Mickey. Don't be Nicky Mickey. Remember that. Then we have 3 of Wands. Page 58. Whoa there, boy. I'm gonna read 3 lines in a second. It's windy, so I'm gonna just put these up. Excuse me, sorry, I didn't mean, sorry, you felt something, but it's all good. So we are on the You're on the 2 of Wands. You know what you want to manifest. Now you need to work out how. You are exploring all options and planning your path You are exploring all options and planning your path ahead before taking action. Let your intuition and passion guide you as you confirm your next steps. So remember to trust yourself and your desires. That's all that matters. Your intuition is literally your desire. And then when you allow your desire to unfold and become a full moon, or you allow it to fully come full circle so you can see what it is trying to show you in the feelings of the pool that builds up from the thoughts, you can finally have the realization that you need to have. Because sometimes Icarus needs to realize, wait, I'm the problem. I thought everybody else was the problem, but really, I'm the problem. How come every time I feel like everybody else is the problem, it's really me? I gotta remember that I'm actually the only alignment that's aligned with the problem. So I gotta make sure that I'm aware of that, you know? I mean, that's the only way to do it. If you just keep doing the same thing over and over and you don't fix it, we all know we call that insanity. We also all know that insanity can have a good side to it. And the good side of insanity is always being beneficial and focusing on the benefit of all over anything else. Because some people feel it's insane to try to help people that aren't them. But the key is you're everything, so you help everything. Not you don't help a thing but yourself, or you help nothing and I'm nothing. So I'm helping me and not you because you're not nothing, obviously. So remember today, the best part of today will be found in your feelings. And when you turn those feelings into action, you already know what that gets you. Well, bam! I think I'm brighter than the sun. Yeah.